Alex, I have an Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show, and I want to thank you for taking your time for doing this interview.
Of course, yeah, no, so good to meet you. My name is James. I sing, I write, record, produce, and pretty much am the like sole songwriter for Blind Equation. And yeah,
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you do a little bit of everything. Like you're all of these things in one.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So the first thing that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going? Not just in your music life, but also personally. Just how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Let's see, yeah, music stuff's pretty busy right now. We just did like a tour, and that was really good. Uh, Personal life, it's definitely getting better. This year started off on a rough foot, but it's slowly the pieces are coming together. Slowly, you know, shaping up to be an all right year. So that's good.
Yeah, always good. Plus, we're a little over halfway finished, so there's still a few more months for things to get even better.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I have to ask, how do you feel that now that the album's released today?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, like I haven't really had much time to like really process it because like I don't know. I mean, it's just been crazy. Just like so many like I mean, it's gotten a great response so far and it's been amazing. But like yeah, just haven't really had much time to like sit down and really like, you know, take it all in. Like I was just at work this morning, so it's like, just looking at my phone whenever I can, just seeing like a billion notifications and stuff. But so far, I mean, I'm really happy with the reception it's received so far. And like, it just feels good to like finally have these songs out because they've been in the chamber for so long. And uh, like I've always just thought about, like what people are going to think of it, years back even when I was just like writing the instrumentals. So it's just really cool to like finally have them out and like hear what people have to say. And so far it's been really great. And yeah, no, just really happy to like have this release out. Like I said, it's been a long time in the making. So yeah, just, I don't know, it's surreal. I don't know. I just like, it always just felt like something that would just never be released. That I would just hold on to forever. So
Yeah.
yeah, not that it like the process took that much longer than the last album, but still like a lot
Hmm.
went into it. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I got to listen to it a few weeks ago, and I
Oh,
really loved
nice.
the second song on the album. I'm really into like video games and rhythm games, so to me, it was like this is a perfect mix of like a Dance Dance Revolution song and like metal, two things that I love.
Oh yeah.
So, are there any inspiration from like arcade games or anything like that that kind of got you into like Cybergrind?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely like what you described, like kind of like DDR and like that kind of arcade like rhythm game like vibe. Like it's always been like a driving force when I like construct like blind equation songs, especially as of recent. Like I think it really started with like Death Awaits, the last album, where like because like prior to that it was like mostly just like strictly like grind. Didn't really change up the drums too much. Mostly just stayed on the metal. Electronic kit. But
Mm-hmm.
last album I implement a lot more like techno drums and like just like really more dancey beats and stuff. And definitely when I was writing that, I definitely had in mind like just like an immersive like DDR sort of type experience. And I mean for this album, like it's like very hidden, like a little bit more low key. That
Mm-hmm.
but when it happens, I'm thinking like I don't know, some like bass hunter vibe, like thinking like old like Dota, like what do you call it, like compilations or whatever, or like like your late night gaming, playing StarCraft, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like that vibe, especially with like that sort of like four on the floor section that happens during this Eternal Curse and like a lot of like nothing and that one like kind of like break in a funeral. But definitely the Toho games. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like the old like Japanese like bullet hell games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they have like a bunch of classic like melodies like Bad Apple, You and Owen was her, stuff like that. Like um, a lot of those like melodies were definitely a huge inspiration for Blind Equation. And while this project's like definitely more metal influenced than like while I was like writing for this project, I was listening to a lot more like just European black metal, like a lot
Right.
more like funeral doom, like death doom, a lot more gothic metal and stuff. Like still those like Toho melody influences and like a lot of those dance beat. Like even like not just like like arcade games, but also just like it's like 2008 and you're at like a pep rally or something like that. Like whenever they would play, at one of those, just like those like Aqua or like I'm trying to think of like Caramel Dance and Hamster Dance, stuff like that,
Oh yeah.
Uh yeah, that stuff definitely like a huge vibe for me. But yeah.
Yeah, when I listen to the album, I'm like, oh my gosh, this like incorporates everything that I love. And then there's metal. And I'm like, I did not know I needed this in my life, but it was so happy and so metal at the same time.
Oh, well thank you. I really appreciate that.
And I have to ask, since you mentioned Toho, have you played any of the Toho games?
Yeah, I did like a while ago. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to lately because like 4 or 5 years ago I got a Mac and like I still haven't really found a way to like play it on Mac. I'm
Mm.
sure I have to like dig deeper, but like um yeah, but like either way, like those like top-down shooters, I love that genre of game as well in general. But with the Toast, like music, I mostly like just listen to the soundtrack just like on its own, But
Yeah.
but I did play like a little bit of Toho like when I had a PC. But yeah.
Yeah. And for anyone who hasn't played it, if you want something really frustrating, you definitely want to play Toho. It
Oh
is
yeah, no, like huge headaches.
very. But when you
Yeah.
finally get to the end, it's definitely worth it. So
Oh yeah, no, it's so rewarding. Oh, sorry, I thought my cat was trying to get in, but I'm just hearing things. I'm just going crazy. No big deal.
it's okay. I think when you have pets, you always hear them, even when you don't hear them. So it's fine.
No, literally 100%.
So I know that there's a lot of people who like to listen to albums and they like to really dig deep into them. Is there any sort of theme that you have going on with this album?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a ton, throughout, but like I think like the main core ones, like I mean, even though it's like only explored in like a handful of tracks, like Grief is like definitely one. Just like I don't know, dudes to the passing of like a few friends of mine, during the writing process of the album, and yeah, just like dealing with that and like so like that, definitely just like dealing with like uncertainties, and like if what you're doing is like the right move, that type of thing. Trying to think what else. My brain is not working.
It's okay.
Like yeah, I mean, just like the fact that it's sort of like you know we might not ever have resolutions to a lot of these things, especially like when it comes to like grief and stuff. Like, but I mean, we have to exist anyways. We have to persevere, So just like accepting that, because it is like a very dark and like very like uh yeah, very dark album, very like sad album, but at the same time, like there's like still glimmers of like resolution and like hope, if you will. But yeah, because I feel like that's like definitely like I mean it's true, like there is hope, but like and
Mhm.
like we do have to just get through it, but also like I want to like express those negative emotions because I feel like it's like a healthy thing to do, but also I don't want to have leave the listener just like you're cooked. Sorry, nothing you can do. Sorry, but yeah, you're on your own. Good luck. But yeah,
Sorry to hear about your friends. It's definitely hard to lose people like that, but I think it's also I don't want to say like great, but it's also good that you can express that because there are other people dealing with the same things and it's kind of like an outlet for them as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know, like obviously like my music's like an outlet for me to like express myself and like in a way like deal with a lot of these like tougher emotions and like even though I like I mean mostly like is for myself, but also like I do have that perspective of the listener and like help, if I'm able to like help someone else, like that's awesome because I mean a lot of like my writings like definitely influenced by like a lot of other artists that touch on really like tough topics that have helped me get through like get through high school, get through college, like get through like just any like tough emotions or like tough stretches of time, and like and the way that they're able to do it is like very beautiful and like if I'm able to do that as well, um I think that's a really good thing. And yeah, I think like just helping people is like a good thing, if I can do that more, that's awesome, at least make an effort, for
Yeah,
that.
for sure. So I have to ask, are there any new tools or techniques that you implemented in this album that you haven't tried before?
Yeah, I mean there's a bunch because this album like if you like listen to like the past like Death and Weights and this like it sounds like vastly different and like I think that was because like after I wrote Death and Weights like it that album like is sort of like a culmination of like everything that I've written from that point. Like it just kind of sounds like the most matured version of all of that. And like after I released it, like I was having a hard time trying to figure out where to go from there because I felt like this sound that I had been building up towards, had reached its peak. And like if I were to like make another album that sounded like Death Awaits, like it would just be Death Await, kind of like a Death Awaits 2. And like I feel like I could have, it was time to like move, like not exactly just completely switch styles or anything, but like
Mm-hmm.
kind of refine my sound and redefine, what Blind Equation is. And like I feel like I definitely achieved that on this album. I think a huge factor is like definitely like just using completely new synths overall. I think there is only like one or two like synths that I used on Death Awaits that I used on this album out
Mm-hmm.
of like the 40 or 50 that I used on Death Awaits or whatever. And like, yeah, I think on this album, like, while like with my past releases, I would layer a lot of different chip synths together to make unique sounds. And like, it would like either each of those layers would like differ throughout songs. And like, I really like that. But like on this album, I kind of wanted to try my best to do less, like do more with less, like have more. I'm less synths, but like each synth is like filling the sound a little bit more, if that makes sense. And like,
Mm-hmm.
even though there are still a lot of like dense layered sections throughout the album, as you can hear, but like instead of having like dense layered like melodies, having like more of an atmospheric sound. Basically, it's just like a lot more atmospheric, which is something that I wanted to try for this album. And I mean, also, this is like the first album for Blind Equation that I had help mixing with. My friend An, we like Zoom called and like he helped me really like make this mix sound so like so much more cleaner and like hit harder. And like I've learned so much about production and mixing through that process as well. And yeah, I think that's like because I don't know. Before I was just like I'm the only one mixing, it's only gonna be me, which is like fair because like it's a very like out of the box like style that I'm doing that like and with so many layers like it's not something that I feel comfortable just like sending to someone, send the files and be like, okay, we're gonna send you files. I want them, I'm gonna expect a perfect mix back, like so
Yeah.
like with on like we were able to like kind of like it was a very like hands-on mixing experience where we'd both mix it together, but like he would change something and like I would hear it back and be like, okay, that was a good decision, or like, hey, let's try this instead, and like And I think he really understood the vision and like basically like the end product is definitely like what I wanted in the end, but really helped me get from point A to point B. And yeah, also another thing, definitely like with my vocal technique, I feel like I really tried a lot of new things and really like push out of my comfort zone vocally, and try to really emulate the emotion like in the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
by like being a little bit more vulnerable like in my vocal delivery because I think on like past releases like and I feel like a lot of vocalists might relate like really just like getting like the cleanest scream or the cleanest growl with like no
Mm-hmm.
like your voice is not cracking or whatever and it sounds like a good brutal scream or growl, but for this one like I don't know. It's already such a digital album. Like I want something that sound human, you know, over all of that, and like really wanted to like not only express like emotion through like the actual notes themselves, and not just through the lyrics, but also in my like delivery and my performance over the album, and like I've been doing that like throughout the album, but I try to take that to the extreme and like not be afraid to have a little like voice crack when it's like needed, or just like really like show that emotion, and like have a
Mm-hmm.
somewhat imperfect take, but at the same time like I feel like that's what the album needed. And yeah.
Yeah, well, I think being human is also, especially in a world where we're going to AI and things are
Oh
perfect,
yeah.
filters, and
Hmm.
like you need that touch of human emotion too.
Oh, absolutely. And like make like writing this album, and like I feel like I knew that as well, like, and also it's just something that I value when I listen to music. Like I'm a huge fan of like more raw sounding music, and like just like
Mm-hmm.
either I just like lately I've been listening to like a lot of 90s music as well, and like um they didn't like have as much of like the tools that we have now to like
Yeah.
make a mix that sounds rough around the edges like sound like perfectly clean. And also with this album I wanted to have a good balance to where like the mix doesn't sound like shit, but at the same time like you can feel something from it, and it's not just like flat, like whatever. And also like um yeah, no, definitely like just wanted to have that, just have the audience feel something and have me feel something when I listen to it. And I think I really achieved that, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, and hope to push that even to next level next album if I can. But yeah.
So this album, from what I've seen, a lot of people have described it as emotionally intense. Is that also like what you were striving for with putting in, like you said, being vulnerable and trying new things? And you said, you want to feel something and the audience to feel something as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like never want to like make an album emotionally intense just for this, purpose of being emotional, like I don't want to like
Yeah.
be like, yo, this shit's gonna break you, like um really it just like kind of came out that way. Yeah, I mean like I'm trying to think here. It does touch on like a lot of very like difficult topics, and just like, a lot of grief and stuff, and like I really wanted to like yeah, just really express that. And like
Hmm.
and also like there's a lot of influence from like gothic metal and like death doom, and like and it's definitely a lot and that's just like a very heavy like also like emotionally heavy genre, because like I feel
Hmm.
like out of all the like classic, metal genres, like I feel like that's like the most emotional, to where like I feel like, if like death metal, thrash metal, um, really like the driving force is like the brutality, like how fast, the heaviness, the riffs, I mean, and I fucking love it, but like something that I just picked up on like when it comes to like doom metal and like um gothic metal is just like really like the emotion, the feeling that you get from like hearing like the keys in that, like the like guitar tone, like the like slow drums, and especially like the vocal performance, and like I really wanted to emulate that on this release, and also I really wanted to like have crescendos and decrescendos throughout the album, because I feel like with my last album, like I'm still incredibly proud of it, but like it's definitely a banger after banger album, like just like 30 minutes of just like full force, like, just like Cybergrind, and like with some like pop elements here and there, but it's just like, you know, you start banger after banger, then you get the 5 minute so song and then end.
Mhm.
While with this album, I just wanted more like breathing room in between, and like um with like songs like Mourn, even like slower songs like A Funeral at the beginning, and like songs like Still, and yeah, just really like carve the dynamics, and yeah, I mean, I think it's a very emotionally heavy album. It's even emotionally heavy for me when I listen, and like, and I
Mhm.
think that's a good sign, and I put a lot of emotion into it, and yeah, yeah,
So here's kind of a fun question.
yeah.
If this album had to be an alcoholic beverage, what would it be called?
Ooh, okay, so I actually do not drink, but it would be a Shirley Temple, uh, not alcoholic.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know, or no, actually, hold on, it's too fun. Okay, honestly, it would be like,
You can also invent one if you want. This is
okay,
like
okay,
your world.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like a lime Shirley Temple,
Okay. Non-alcoholic.
not alcoholic, because like the lime like sort of like fits the theme of like the album cover and stuff, and Shirley
Hmm.
Temple is like just the vibe because it's like straight edge cybergrind. But yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
So I do have one last question here for you. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
it has flown by so fast.
I know. Oh my God, yeah. Holy shit.
Is there anything you'd like to say to old fans, anyone who just picked up the album, or anyone interested in just giving it a listen to?
Yeah, absolutely. What would I say to um? Well, I mean, one, like, thank you so much for like supporting me throughout up until this point. I don't know, it's crazy that like this project that I started in high school is like become what it is now, and we've been able to do so many cool things. And I don't know, it wouldn't have been doable without everyone who supports us. So I really appreciate everyone who supports us. If you're just tuning in, uh, thank you so much for giving the music a chance. I know it's fucking weird. I know there's no guitars. It's a little bit hard to get used to, but if you've gotten this far and you're watching this interview right now, that means you have an open enough mind to give it a shot, and I really appreciate you doing that. And also, if you see that we are coming to your city, please come see us on tour. Um, I love performing. Like, obviously, I love writing an album. I love writing music. I love crafting an album. Like, making this album was so much fun, even though it's so much work and like so stressful and drove me crazy for like 2 years straight. But I love it. I love releasing music. Today's like an awesome day just to like share this with the world. But what I love almost as much, if not more, is performing in front of people. So if you see us on tour, see if we're coming to your city, uh, please go. I promise that we won't let you down, and it'll be a good time, and you'll remember it forever. I don't know, but and uh, yeah.
And for everyone else, the good news is you don't have to wait to listen to this album. It's out right now, versus I leave you guys waiting and then you're sad because you have to wait. But you can listen to it right now. I'll leave all the links down below. So it's really easy for you guys just to click on it, take a listen to it. I listened to it twice because I really liked it. It's everything that I've ever needed in my life. So you guys should definitely give it a listen.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's Yeah. No, thank you so much.
Of course. And thank you so much again for doing this interview. I can't believe how fast time has flown
Oh
by.
my God, yeah, for real. Like insane.
But when it's out, I'll make sure to tag you so you can share it with your followers as well. And it's been an absolute pleasure. It was a really fun interview, so appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Queen of your